Hello, 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 folks. We're in a very intimate and veiled place today because we are really honing in on taking away some time from session to session to session to session, reaching individual by individual and democratizing mental health and spreading the holding space, the toolbox, the you are not broken, and facing your instability concepts to all these outlets. Substack, YouTube, Spotify, here we go. We want to do this. We want to promote this, to share this. So I'm not going to spend too much time kind of reaching into the depths of your soul right now to get you to listen to me. I just know that you're already here with such purpose and such vision and such desire to organize your healing journey. So let's just go. The post today, the theme today, I'm calling it deadheading and unblending. And we're talking about the hope merchant skill here. Becoming self-led in your life is not an outcome or a place you get to where everything is optimistic. The hope merchant is a skill. Pessimism, woundedness, fear, anger, sadness, and resentment are appreciated. And I am Melinda Zappone. I am a licensed mental health and trauma specialist, therapist, and I am an individual healing for over 40 years. I've written a book. I've studied it, all the courses I've done, the work, and I'm still with you here healing. So when I say welcome, I think of the word welcome coming from Old English, and it is pronounced wilkuma, which combines will, meaning desire or wish, and kuma, meaning come. Therefore, I hope you can pause right now and know it's my deepest wish and desire for you to have come here to read, watch, and listen. Not so much to the content, but to yourself, wanting something of and from your life that only you can give it. Maybe you don't entirely accept that yet, but it all begins with you accepting the greatest responsibility that there is to lead a self-directed life. You've found a community here, and the whispers, you are not broken, and break free from fixing and face your instability, they are turning into a roar. We all want to reclaim our right to rewire our operating systems. The top down approach to fixing problems are draining us. While it has served a purpose to explain our problems, look them up, assess them, and send them to therapy, we want to feel lighter and feel the changed and self directed person emerge. This is not an outcome, it's a feeling. It's not a better relationship or job. It's not improving your income or accomplishments that demand more respect. It's wholeness restored. The mind and the brain are not the same thing. Inside the brain, there is a linked system that stored and carried information to it. That's called the central nervous system. I won't bore you with the science right now. There are other posts about processing, orienting to safety, and toning your polyvagal ladder. You can explore them in the Substack subscription, Holding Space. But the mind is something different than the brain and its other systems. But it affects these neural networks and everything involved in using the information we have gathered as lived experiences in the subconscious mind. The mind creates dysregulated and unintegrated networks. So things like don't share your opinion, what if it's wrong, or you don't need any help, figure this out yourself. These are examples of messages carried in these pathways subconsciously. They become like sub personalities or parts of ourselves that take turns playing a role in our lives, and it causes a lot of internal fragmentation. So, the goal with the toolbox approach and my first book, You Are Not Broken, breaking free from, or just break free from the fixing yourself mindset with the toolbox approach, is to begin to integrate the fragmentation and see the potential of wholeness come alive. Just the potential of it starts to gain us new commitment as the organization of healing comes into this thing called healing journey. You will start to see that it has phases, narrative healing, reprocessing healing, and relational healing emerges, and it's something that you finally want to stick to. You search through the previous posts if you need to validate that there's a core curriculum here. It's all stored here in holding space, but I'm just glad you're here today, taking this in, and here we go. So deadheading. What is deadheading? Well, let me tell you a story. Recently, I had a memory of 1994 and the version of me that could think of nothing else but to become a deadhead and attend my first live Grateful Dead concert. The key to membership outside of concert going was to adapt a collection of bootleg tapes. Illegally recorded concert where the music was muffled by crowd noise at times and personal stories to the audience about the songs could be heard. The Grateful Dead was more than a band. It was an experience I longed to have, but I wasn't sure exactly why. The magic of being a fan for one live concert before its leader passed away never left me. I tried to re-experience it really poorly and chased false magic. I took wrong turns and forgot a narrative that was hard to go through, but would have formed a solid self if I had only found the tools to face that what happens in life is like many songs in a set at a concert. They all have meaning and emotion, and mostly when the listening is intentional, it's a good show, despite the harder lyrics. Many times I have whispered to myself the lyrics of one particular Grateful Dead song. It's just a box of rain, when memories and sadness filled me. The past, once you are facing things, can be restored to form regulated and stable emotional data. Instead of wanting to move forward all the time, you want to revisit it for the stable and usable information you know you will find if you listen to the parts of the experience with different narrative tools, ones that don't dwell, overthink, ruminate, suppress, repress, and dissociate from the timeline of information. So it dawned on me that the Grateful Dead and the longing to become a deadhead had a hidden message for me and for others. Deadheading is actually a tactic used by gardeners. It preserves a plant's growth. I imagine the plant is pretty grateful to be preserved in this way and not mourning the loss. So why can't we be grateful too? Deadheading flowers is the process of removing spent blooms from plants. This practice not only improves the overall appearance of the plant, but also encourages it to produce more flowers by redirecting energy away from seed production. Deadheading typically involves cutting off flowers that have faded or are no longer attractive, and it can also include removing damaged buds. And this concept just came back to me. Like, I do want to be a deadhead. I want to be someone who deadheads, and I think this is a skill for all of us. Recently, I wrote a poem called Dead Day, reclaiming the concept of birthday as I had another one, and commit to sending old patterns of thinking, relating, feeling, processing, and being in my life on a death march away from the wholeness I am seeking. That is where I wanted to start this concept called the Hope Merchant, which is a skill that I have given this name due to its connection to my training in trauma-informed methods of bypassing knowing and talking through problems and using methods that get at subconscious material. The Hope Merchant is not something you need to become. THM is not who I am all the time, nor should you be. The concept, when combined with deadheading, means you have to face the truth of what you need to redirect your energy away from, and that there is growth in this process, even if it clips away and things seem bare at first. It's a hopeful process because we also have hopelessness, but it is not a process to live in hope all the time. That is not how life is. Simply, when we are exposed, everything can be seen. Everything you want to get rid of can now be accepted and seen as in need of help. Sometimes we need to stay more with ourselves despite the vulnerability, and that's the help we need. Sometimes we are in need of help to let something die away, Or lastly, we are in need of help to redirect and grow. We don't always know what we carry, then we feel it and we want to get rid of it. We just really need help with this. It's about new tools that move beyond thinking and toward reprocessing and rewiring. The feeling you get after is the solution, and that is lighter, guided, and able to self-direct. So let's talk a little bit about unblending. Unblending is part of the deadheading process. It's also a term in one of my certified clinical trauma therapist toolbox side of things and derived from internal family systems. We've transformed this into a self-help tool many times, and I'll do it again here today. So later on, stay tuned for Holding Space Plus memberships. These are options. You will gain early access to ways you can become part of a healing program that will highlight all the methods of using this. For now, unblending requires you to see your pessimism, woundedness, fear, anger, sadness, and resentment with appreciation. These are all parts of you with their own mini dialogue. Once you become curious about this, you can feel the unblending start to occur. It's no longer who you are to feel low, unmotivated, stuck, superficially functional or happy, overscheduled, avoidant, project-driven, or isolative. It's now a part of you that wants to have a conversation. That is where the Hope Merchant skill comes in. So, the Hope Merchant. This skill is about recognizing that all these down states have an agenda. They are not there to get rid of before you explore what that agenda could be. So the skill is about buying into that hope that, yes, if you listen to the down part, fearful, resentful, doubtful, avoidant, stagnant, or whatever it may hold, it will tell you about the feeling. The Hope Merchant distinguishes from the parts that hold down states as follows. So distinguishing from parts tend to be attached to agendas. The Hope Merchant skilled self wants to restore balance and wholeness. The Hope Merchant self energy wants to help all the parts, no fixing or getting rid of, no burdening parts as if they are wrong or bad. And lastly, distinguishing from parts includes attunement. Attunement is key, as is taking accountability that the Hope Merchant doesn't know. It asks. Just ask the part if needed. Don't go top down into knowing. So I know, like you want THM, the Hope Merchant. You want to see it in action. So I'm going to give you an example. This is privacy protected combination of therapy goers in this example. And we're calling this example person Leslie. Leslie wanted to break up with him for good 3 years ago. A part of her broke it off, started a healing journey, and only engaged in contact every 3 to 4 months, when one or both of them began testing the boundaries of the breakup again. He was an avoidant, so she knew that it was impossible to get closure through healthy confrontation about what had happened between them. But a part of her held on to the desire to confirm that he had never been able to show her how he felt, did not mean to manipulate her interest, and longed for things to have worked out. She felt low when she wanted this confirmation. She felt weak and unable to move on. She felt a part of her avoided starting new relationships with all her newfound insight because what if it happens again and I can't recover this time? So the parts Leslie felt were low vibration, down, weak, and avoidant were something she wanted to get rid of, but they weren't leaving. The cycle, she reported to me, seemed to return every 3 or 4 months, but really she felt it was always there in the background. So we explore accessing the Hope Merchant as a skill, making sure she knew it was not a version of her she should be instead of her current stuck state. This was the skill set she was missing, and a part of her was capable of integrating all the various stuck energies. This self was more curious about this and less get rid of it. This self is willing to use a skill. So each part was asked the same thing. What would you have me know about your experience? And it sounded like this. Low vibration. I feel like this is beneath me. Attracted an emotionally unavailable person. So what? I've looked at this pattern in me, and it's not about him. I let thoughts of the way he is get to me and siphon off my positive experiences. The life I have now is better than before because I have faced this, but I never forget that he had so many signs and I went past them wanting an emotional availability I knew wasn't there. I wonder if I want to stay stuck so I don't have to try again. And that is so unattractive. I am not attracting what I want if I stay stuck like this. The down part. I don't have enough energy for things I want to do. I keep putting off real connection and putting my energy into things that drain me more than help me. The weak part. I need more supportive friends and family. I can't do this by myself. It's too hard. I'm so ashamed that I worked this hard and I can't fully get back up and try again. And lastly, the avoidant part. I should focus on my career. So what if I can't be a relationship expert yet? I'm really doing great career-wise, and I don't want to have to do speed dating or arrange meetup outings to meet someone dateable. The dating apps make me so depressed. So that's her work with the parts. Now we get to the merchant side of things. At this point, the hope merchant skill homes in on the merchant aspect of the experience. This merchant is about to trade in the value of the work you did listening to parts. So simply asking, which of you has the most valuable information for me right now? Which part feels the most exposed and vulnerable? That is the new hot commodity. With Leslie, I explained to her that she might ask this question as if she were online shopping, searching through the items and seeing the details of each part and learning what it was attempting to sell her on. Then she was to determine which one she wanted to wear, which one she wanted to own, which one she could really purchase and use. She ended up choosing low vibration, but told me that week also informed her somewhat. She started to realize that she had been wanting to take a program offered by a podcast she had listened to, and that she was longing for a community of people doing the work, a way to start with a group that was guaranteed to be in a similar place and wanting to learn and grow, and had agreed to the program structure and would be like a student along with her. She had been avoiding how badly she wanted to give herself permission to do this and not focus much on her career for a little while. It was an 8-week program. She wasn't giving herself permission to just do it, and she could still go to work and do the program. Leslie felt immediate relief knowing this was blocking her. Inaction, knowing but not acting. Inaction blocks a lot of us. So we choose inaction like career or a home project or a child's issue or something else. We try to trick the feeling of acting on anything to be the same thing as acting on the vulnerable, harder things. This is very human. Leslie did not act all at once, however. She signed up for a discovery call and then sat on the decision. Trying a self-help book written by the program creator, she listened to other podcasts, and when she saw the stuck the next time, she signed up for that program. This is how it goes. Healing is slower than we would like. We did not have epiphanies and change our lives. We have them and make small micro moves. In the end, a lot of us can talk about a big change, but often this is an accumulation of several years of becoming self-directed, inch by inch. My parting remarks for you all is that we are on a journey here at Holding Space subscription. I invite you to take the materials and wait to feel the inner invitation to begin. I'm including links to my author's website. That's the most comprehensive source of all the materials for the coming You Are Not Broken University courses, therapy intensives, and more. So just stay attuned. Please leave me a review on Goodreads or Amazon. I included the links. I'd love for you to positively review the book. Lastly, a reminder that I have added a new feature to the Holding Space subscription, Holding Space Plus. This means that as a paid subscriber at $5.99 a month, you could direct a message after a post and share what came up for you, as well as the feedback you would like. So the types of feedback are affirming feedback, guidance-based, specific therapeutic plans to incorporate in your therapy, or just validate points that you feel you process through reading. It's up to you what type of feedback you would like. But an important note, this is not a therapeutic intervention and does not include the essential component of getting to know your personal story. So please consider this as one supportive piece of your healing journey, ideally alongside therapy if needed. It's not intended for crisis situations or unprocessed traumas. If you're seeking professional support, you can find a therapist in the link. I link you up to Headway. I think that gives you a really comprehensive way to find someone. When you're ready, proceed past the paywall to joining Holding Space Plus. Only when you're ready. The content is still free if not, and that's where you can just get yourself directed for tiers of support. And I'm always so glad that you're here. So heal on, everybody.